A new service has been launched in Bradford to support male victims of domestic abuse. One victim has told the BBC he wouldn't be alive today without the help he's received from it. The charity Mankind says it's a growing problem, with many men suffering in silence. Gaggan reports.
Domestic abuse is often perceived to be a man abusing a woman. But physical, emotional and financial abuse towards men by women is very much a real issue, with many victims suffering in silence at the hands of the abuser. But a recent large-scale disorder that broke out in Leicester on 17 September, involving young men both from the Hindu and the Muslim communities, has caused huge communal clashes and tensions between the two groups. The incident is one of a number of unrest and disturbances that have been taking place in Leicester over the last few weeks. I've come to Leicester to see how the recent incidents have affected the people living here and to see if all this unrest has dampened this year's Navratri celebrations. Meet 33-year-old Bushra Begum. Originally from India, Bushra came to the UK as a student in April 2021 along with her husband and 3 children. The couple and their kids live in the small room in a 3-bed shared property in East London. And due to the recent rise in gas, electricity and food costs in the UK, Bushra says that she and her family have no other choice but to stay in the single room, which she says is infested with rats.
We have so many problems here. See, in one room can't adjust because all the items should be over here only. And the very dangerous thing is about the rats. During the night time, it's like 4 to 5 rats are coming.
Season 2 of Coming Out Stories.
I'm excited.
My mother tried to kill me that night. She held a knife over me and she said that I had brought shame to the family.
52-year-old Raga De Silva grew up in Mumbai in a traditional middle-class family in the 70s. And like everyone else, she too followed the social norm and got married and had children. Initially, the couple were really happy, but soon cracks started to appear in their marriage. It was then that Raga realized that despite being married to a man, she was actually attracted to women. The Citizenship Amendment Act has caused massive protests not only in India but also right here in the UK, where a number of demonstrations have been taking place against the CAA and the NRC. From London to Oxford to Manchester, a number of protests have been taking place across the UK.
We were treated like a COVID prisoner.
You see it? Yeah.
Oh, that slug.
Yeah, slug. Yeah, it's a slug.
It's all destroying in here.
Oh, it's just so disgusting.
If you're lucky, you'll get a good hotel. Otherwise, you'll get a hotel with not so good reviews.
If somebody wants an experience to go into prison, then they can come in quarantine. It's such a confined room. The windows never even opened. I had one official come in knocking on my door and giving me timings for my breaks. And they made us stay in fear.
The quality of the food was it was appalling. Half cooked, half not cooked. There were days that I just couldn't eat it. I thought, oh, that's what something stuck to my foot. And when I pulled my foot back, I picked up a clump of hair that was not mine.
The Mishras weren't the only ones who were facing this IT system issue. Hundreds of other people across the country too had similar problems. But despite this, in 2010, Seema, who was 8 weeks pregnant, was handed a 15-month jail sentence, even though the court accepted that there wasn't any evidence against her.
Completely lost. I didn't hear whatever he's saying. All I heard 15 months. After that, I know they took me from the backside. I wasn't even allowed to say hello to my family. They took me there, having a sharp pain in my stomach. And next time I went to open my eyes, I was in the hospital. Definitely would have committed suicide if I wasn't pregnant.
Throughout our lives as a family, we faced a lot of bullying and discrimination. People used to, break our windows. They used to leave dog poo on front of the house. And we had fireworks put through our door.
Growing up was very difficult. We would get nasty name calls. We didn't fit in any category. We were neither white or we were neither Asian.
Since birth, Naseem, Heather and their 4 siblings have had to face severe bullying and discrimination because of the way they look.
This is the worship hall which was inaugurated by Her Majesty the Queen. On that day, we created a makeshift temple for the day because we didn't have all these idols there. But the Queen really enjoyed watching all these decorated idols because it was something new for her.
So this is the village name, Mangawal, and that is my great-great-grandfather, Gurba Singh, son of Fuman Singh.
22-year-old Jasmine Atwal was volunteering with a local charity when she accidentally discovered records showing that her great-great-grandfather and his brother had fought in World War I. Jasmine made this fascinating discovery on the UK Punjab Heritage Association's website that contained thousands of records of soldiers from undivided Punjab who fought in the First World War. Hi and welcome to Birmingham, the city that's hosting this year's Commonwealth Games, and I thought it'll be a great idea to show you some of the city's most famous landmarks and sites. So get ready to explore Birmingham with me. Meet 85-year-old Manju Patel. Manju owns and runs one of UK's most popular Gujarati restaurants. Her restaurant, Manju's, is located 48 miles south of London in the city of Brighton in England. Born in Gujarat in 1936, Manju later moved to Uganda with her parents. In 1964, Manju got married and had 2 sons and was leading a very happy life until tragedy struck in August 1972 when Uganda's Asians were asked to leave the country within 90 days by dictator Idi Amin. And around 25,000 of these displaced people, including Manju and her family, emigrated to the UK.
My brother is here, London. I coming in London.
Gaggan Patel, also known as Master G, was a popular figure in Coventry in England and was the city's first Indian photographer in the 1950s.
My dad actually came from the Gujarat and he came to England in 1951 and he emigrated here, and he, as other immigrants, he actually started work at the General Electric Company in Coventry, and he saved up his own money and he brought his first box brownie camera. He's really documented the very beginning of, I guess, people coming to Coventry and making their lives in Coventry.
Hi, I'm Malik. You might have seen my face on a billboard somewhere. I'm an entrepreneur and I'm religious. I am looking for someone who is working on her deen. I'm open to any ethnicity. If you're interested, fill out the form or check out my details.
29-year-old Mohammed Malik from Hounslow in West London decided to advertise himself on billboards in a quest to find a wife.
When I dance, it feels like everything is magical. When I first started, I didn't ever imagine that something like this would happen in my life. Now ballet is my dream, my career, my passion. Ballet means everything to me.
Meet 21-year-old Kamal Singh. Originally from Delhi, Kamal is the son of a rickshaw driver who has defied all odds and has gone on to become one of the first Indian students to graduate from one of England's prestigious ballet schools.
I just made it to the South Pole.
Meet Harpreet Kaur Chandi. Also known as Polar Preet, the 33-year-old has been making headlines all over the world after becoming the first woman of colour to complete a solar expedition across Antarctica.
I went to the Gurdwara just before I left, and when I said I was going to the South Pole, they thought I was going to Southall. And we had to explain no South Pole.
Despite all the hardships and challenges, Preet says that there's no stopping and has started training for her next adventure.
I actually intended to do a crossing of Antarctica, which, if you look at the map, it's just going at a right angle, basically.
Gaggan, BBC News, Derby.